Thanks for sticking with us here on Living Local Carolina for this very special thrifting episode. I've been having so much fun showing you guys around Goodwill and sharing some of my tips, but I want to show you guys what I do whenever I bring home something from the thrift store. Now, as you can see, this pot has seen better days, but I've been collecting these for quite some time now. I have a couple of the pots and some of the bakingware, so I will show you what I do to make them look nice and sparkly and shiny again. You're going to want to put on some gloves because we're working with chemicals here. I don't always do this, but I'll do it because we're on TV today. And I'm going to grab one of the best things you can have in your house, and I'm sure a lot of you already have this, Barkeeper's Friend. What can it do? So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this inside, a little bit of water on your sponge, and just start scrubbing. One of my favorite things about buying thrifted stuff is the satisfaction that you feel once you've made it new again. And putting in that elbow grease, it really gives me a sense of satisfaction because I feel like you're just getting to, not to sound cliche, but to breathe new life into stuff. And that's what life is all about, getting to enjoy these pieces for even longer. This is where all that stuff gets burnt on. And it's coming off really easy. I'm actually not even having to scrub hard at all. Absolutely beautiful. It took me like 5 minutes. So next I'm going to show you how I shine up different metals that I get as well. Who doesn't love copper? Although I will say it's not the easiest thing to take care of, I have learned, but I do still love it. So I'm going to show you guys what I do whenever I get a new copper piece. Sometimes I will use Barkeeper's Friend, but I have a product that I actually think works a lot better. I'm going to show you just how quickly Tarnex works to get the nasty, nasty tarnish off. I just put a little bit on a paper towel. Try not to spill it all over the kitchen. It stinks too, so fair warning, watch. Look at that. You might have to open a window, but it works really, really well. And then you'll rinse it off. Voila, easy peasy. Tarnex also works on many other metals like sterling silver, gold, platinum, and brass. Fun fact, if you don't have Tarnex, you can also use ketchup to polish copper. It's not going to work as well as if you were to scrub it with Barkeeper's Friend or the Tarnex, but this will still do a pretty good job shining it up. Now let's talk clothes, one of the trickiest areas of cleaning thrifted items. You can always take a chance with a delicate cycle and air dry, but my tip I learned from my costume designer best friend who is used to working with vintage fabrics for shows. Just grab some cheap vodka, and what you're going to do is take your garment, spritz it all over, give it a little shake, and then I will go take this outside and leave it in the sun for a little bit to dry. The alcohol in it will kill any germs and it will freshen it up and it won't damage the fabric. So that's why I love using that. One fabric that is not easy to take care of, but I still love to thrift, suede. If an item is particularly dirty, you may want to gently hand wash it with a mild detergent or use a damp microfiber rag to wipe down the surface. But the best thing to use is a suede brush to buff out the surface and remove dirt. All right, enough cleaning, let's get to the fun part. Displaying your thrift treasures can be a bit of a challenge. So as you can see, I do have a bit of a collection going on here of my blue and white pottery. You'll see that throughout my house. I love blue and white pottery. I thrift all of it, and it's fairly easy to find. I prefer to have my pottery treasures displayed on shelves, but also in functional ways, like candle holders, flower vases, and even in the kitchen. As for the gallery wall, its purpose is to be a conversation starter. Right behind me is my very, very large gallery wall. And I can say about 90% of this has been thrifted. I started collecting whenever I moved into this house. I knew I wanted a gallery wall, but if you try and buy a full gallery wall online, or if you go to a store and try and buy it, you're going to be spending so much money. And I wanted to be able to kind of curate all the things that we liked. And if you take a look at it, it's a little bit of everything. It's very coastal, obviously. I love seashells. I collect seashells too. Sometimes I'll find a piece of art that needs a new frame or vice versa. a super nice frame with matting that has nothing inside. It's taken me a while to build the gallery wall, but the fun part is always changing it around with new finds. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this little mini tour, and I hope that you've gotten a little bit of inspiration for the next time you go to the thrift store. But stick with us here on Living Local Carolina, because after the break, I'm going to be talking about how you can pay it forward, thrifting throughout the year for friends, and donating yourself.